Reaction came fast following Castro's death, mainly in the Little Havana section of Miami, where hundreds of Cubans settled when Castro came to power. For them, Castro's death is cause for celebration. He is expected to be cremated today, and a 9-day period of public mourning will be observed in Cuba. Castro's ashes will be buried on December 4th in Santiago, Cuba. David Begnaud is in Miami's Little Havana section with more. David, good morning.
Good morning. The crowds have thinned out significantly, but the expectation is as the sun rises, the crowd will return. Look, the death of Fidel Castro had been a rumor that had become a running joke for many years. But when people realized last night that, no, this is real, he's dead, they came to the one place that is known as Little Havana. That's Cafe Versailles. So this is where folks will come, get a shot of their Cuban espresso and talk about the news. But the news couldn't wait until the morning. So around midnight, shortly before, 30 minutes after news broke out of Cuba that Fidel Castro was dead, people flooded the street. This is the main road running through Little Havana, and we have the video from last night. Not only could you see it, but if you were anywhere in the area, you could hear it. People banging pots and pans with spoons, banging on drums, riding through the street, waving Cuban-American flags. Police closed down the roads and allowed the protesters to march. It was peaceful, and it continued well into the morning. At least 4 to 5 hours. A crowd believed to be at least 1,000 people or more stood here in celebration over the death of Fidel.
We're celebrating the end of a man who separated so many families throughout the years, a man who killed many, who imprisoned many individuals just for thinking differently and not believing in his revolution, like my father, who was a political prisoner in Cuba for many years. I didn't get to live my early years, my childhood with my father because of Fidel Castro and his regime. Therefore, I am glad that he's gone. I'm just sorry that he's gone before he's able to see a free Cuba, because Cuba's going to be free. And I think that would have been the ultimate slap in the face for him to have been alive with a free Cuba.
The mayor of Miami, Carlos Regalado, was walking the street here about an hour ago, and I spoke to him. His father was a journalist in Cuba who was jailed for 22 years. And so for him, this is not only political to be here to talk to his supporters, but it's personal. And I remember him saying to me, I believe that this will cause people in Cuba to challenge the current Castro, Raul, who is now running the country. The bottom line, Anthony, people here are hopeful.
David Begnaud in the Little Havana section of Miami. Thanks, David.